No matter where you are in the world, you ask one question, yeah? I'm in Israel. Keir Starmer is a wanker! Hey!
Tommy Robinson's short, defiant clip, no matter where you are in the world, you ask one question, yeah. I'm in Israel. Keir Starmer is a wanker. He perfectly captures the tone that has made him both infamous and influential among certain British audiences. Beneath the crude humor and provocation, there's a calculated political message that Robinson sees himself as a kind of global representative of the disillusioned British working class, someone who carries his grievances far beyond Britain's borders. By invoking Keir Starmer's name while standing in Israel, Robinson signals that his contempt for the British establishment, especially Labour's leadership, transcends geography or diplomacy. It's a statement of defiance wrapped in populist theatre. In many ways, this moment is classic Tommy Robinson. The casual phrasing, you ask one question, yeah, creates a sense of camaraderie with his audience, as though he's speaking directly to them from a pub rather than a foreign country. It's raw, unfiltered, and purposefully anti-political. But the backdrop of Israel adds layers. Robinson has long positioned himself as a defender of Western values against what he calls Islamic extremism, and his trip to Israel fits neatly into that narrative. By referencing Starmer there, he's implicitly contrasting what he sees as his own clarity and conviction with the Labour leader's cautious centrism and diplomatic ambiguity. There's also a cultural and rhetorical trick at play. The use of vulgarity, calling Starmer a wanker, is not just insult for insult's sake. It's populist shorthand. It signals frustration with perceived hypocrisy, weakness, and elitism within the political class. Robinson's followers don't hear just an insult. They hear defiance, honesty, and rebellion against political correctness. It's why moments like this go viral. They're easy to share, easy to share, easy to share, easy to meme, and carry emotional charge that far outweighs their literal meaning. Ultimately, this brief outburst says a lot about Britain's fractured political discourse. Figures like Tommy Robinson thrive on simplicity and spectacle, distilling complex discontent into a single punchline that travels globally. Whether you see him as a provocateur or patriot, the fact that his words from Israel could trend back in the UK tells us something uncomfortable about modern politics. Authenticity, no matter how coarse, often trumps decorum.
White people are being racially profiled in misleading advertisements and political campaigns, and I'm going to show you all the evidence and expose the two-tier left-wing outrage over all of this. This, of course, comes as Sarah Pochin, the recently elected Reform UK MP, is currently embroiled in a racism row.
It drives me mad when I see adverts full of black people, full of Asian people, full of, people that basically are anything
What's wrong
other
with that,
than
Sarah?
white.
Pochin has now apologised for her statement, saying this: "My comments on a Talk TV phone-in earlier today were phrased poorly, and I unreservedly apologise for any offence caused, which was not my intention. The point I was making that many British TV adverts have gone DEI mad and are now unrepresentative of British society as a whole. This is not an attack on any group, but an observation about balance and fairness in how our country is portrayed on screen." Well, as she then goes on to point out, a study commissioned by Channel 4 found that black people were featured in more than half of the adverts in 2022, up sharply from 37% in 2020 following the Black Lives Matter movement. Black people make up around 4% of the population in England and Wales, according to the 2021 census. So there you have it. She wasn't wrong about overrepresentation, was she? Well, many people are saying she shouldn't have bothered apologising, and I can see why, because the far left have been getting away with unabashed anti-white racism for over a decade now. Where was the outrage from senior Labour figures and the far left over this?
Every chief executive of every council and every government department, white. Every director of a department in Scotland, white.
That's Labour leader in Scotland, by the way, Anas Sauer. Or what about this man?
The Lord President, white.
The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. This list.
Oh, so it's okay to angrily shout about white people being represented in workplaces, but not TV adverts? Come off it, honestly. In fact, recent TfL adverts have, in my opinion, aggressively targeted white men, showing them sexually intimidating women of minority ethnicity.
The man in the grey suit is staring at you. Would you report it? It's him again. You can feel his breath. Would you report it?
There's more where that came from, so stay tuned. Now, we don't have the ethnic breakdowns on this, as the Met Police simply refuse to capture that data. But what I can tell you is that despite that advert, white women make up, on average, of over 58% of sexual assault victims in London since 2018, with black women making up 24% and Asian women making up 16%. As for the perpetrators, 37% were foreign nationals. That's according to a Met Police Service FOI, showing arrests and preceding cases broken down by nationality in what they call the sexual offences and violence against the person's Freedom of Information request. That doesn't take away from the fact that women, of course, are facing sexual violence, and I'm not trying to make this about race, but it's very important, if we're going to talk about this and throw the words racism around, that we have a balanced and fair discussion. And also, here's a social media post from the Daily Mirror that caused outrage, reading this: petition for women-only tube carriages amid growing issue nears 10k signatures. Do you notice anything about the picture there? Oh, and here is another one. This one is mocked up by the BBC and posted on their X account, showing a white, older man on a phone with the caption stating, TfL is targeting the disruptive behaviour of passengers who play loud music and calls out loud. Well, as a born and bred Londoner who's probably spent years of my life on the Underground, I don't think that's an exaggeration, by the way, I personally have never once sat next to or near an old white man playing music out loud. And do you remember this campaign by the Mayor of London? An advert showing a white man harass a woman while his black friends stand aside.
What is it? What is your problem? You've not said one word. No?
Come on, bro.
You're not so pretty with that face on, you know? I just don't understand.
What are you doing? That's enough.
What do you make of that? I've given you the data. You can make your minds up about whether these adverts are genuine representations of the issue we have in Britain, or whether places, perhaps the Mayor of London's office and some others, are trying to racially profile and be scared of being called the word racist. Well, I think the reality is, in my opinion, that white people are not just factually underrepresented in advertisements, which frankly I couldn't care less about. I know many of you can't either, but I couldn't care less. But they are often unfairly targeted and racially profiled, despite evidence pointing to the exact opposite of the campaigns and adverts targeting them. We have, for a very long time, been told the countryside is too white, TV programmes are too white, everything is too white, as we've seen some of our Scottish leaders tell us. That's not racist, according to them, but every time someone else who might be white points out that there might be some overrepresentation, well, that's racism, isn't it?